Hello guys, and welcome to the Triumph Speed Twin 1200. This could be a good one. Have I saved the best Bonneville till last? Let's find out. I've never ridden this Speed Twin before, updated in 2021, a few little updates. Massively looking forward to riding this. Stay tuned, let's get into it and see what she's like to ride. Sounds nice. Sounds very nice, this setup of the Bonneville 1200cc parallel twin engine, but in this form, in the Speed Twin, I think it's going to be pretty special, an interesting one. Coming in at £11,295 for the, it's actually really nice sort of cherry red. That's not the official name, that's my name for it. This sort of red, deep red colour. New for this year, 2022. They do Triumph for doing sort of orange, like a full-on, quite a bold orange colour. That costs more. That's 11,429, about £200 extra for that orange, which personally I quite like it. I thought at first that orange would be a bit bold. I was like, oh come on, that's not retro, it's a bit in your face, but I actually really like that orange, but colours down to personal preference. The best performing Bonneville, I've never ridden it. I am pleased to get on board. Like I was saying, we've got the 1200cc parallel twin. It's putting out 98 brake horsepower and 112 newton meters of torque. So it's pretty much the most powerful Bonneville as well. So it's going to be an interesting ride, an interesting proposition. Looking at all of the specs, it's a nicely spec'd motorbike this. It's a serious proposition, performance retro bike. I think very much strong competition with the Kawasaki Z900RS. I'll do a comparison video on that in the future, I think. We're just going to stick and see how the Speed Twin rides today. But yeah, if you're looking at competition, it's that Kawasaki, and that's a mighty nice motorcycle. Oh, yeah, there's nothing retro about the power. She moves, she really does. Woo! Yeah, it's a torquey motor. When you ride the other Bonneville ranges, for example the T120 or the Bobber, they perform well, they're nice performing bikes, but this is a lot quicker, a fair bit quicker. Definitely, you can feel it. It's a proper performing naked retro motorbike. So in 2021 model, Triumph just added a few more brake horsepower, which is not that noticeable, but the main thing is they actually added more torque in the mid-range, which you really can notice. It's a torquey motor, this. Perfect for these type of back roads in the UK. It really pulls in that mid-range torque range. When you get to the higher revs, you do start to find the flat spots, but that's the nature of a twin. So just another note on the that engine in the Speed Twin. It really uses quality in the way it's set up in this Speed Twin. Just bumbling around town here, you have a nice thrum from the parallel, a nice bit of character, but it's also so smooth as well. It feels like a really premium setup in this Speed Twin. I think it's one of the smoothest quality forms of their 1200 in this Bonneville, the Speed Twin here. Very nice for bobbing around town as well. As I hope you could hear, sounds pretty nice as well, not too bad. Sounds lovely at idle, tick over at a standstill. Also great like bobbing through town. I was saying earlier, slower speeds, lovely premium pop, 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 sort of vibe coming from the exhaust, nice sound. I would say when you're pushing on a bit at a bit of pace, that sound does get blurred out. You can't really hear the exhaust when you're pushing on, which is a bit of a shame because it's a lovely sounding exhaust, so perhaps you might want to change the exhaust out for something a bit fruitier, a bit more of a bang. So for 2021, they've updated the brakes and suspension, worked on those. So the front brakes, you've got two 320mm discs with a Brembo M50 4-piston radially mounted calipers at the front. So nice set of brakes, nice light feel to the brake, not too bitey, but very strong, capable brakes up front. The suspension, they've gone for upside down forks this time for 2021 model, a Marzocchi suspension, 43mm. It's not adjustable on the Speed Twin, but for what this bike's for mainly road performance riding, I don't think you need that adjustment on it. The suspension's nicely set up for road riding. So on the rear, things are slightly more simple. You have a single 220mm disc with a 2-piston floating Nissin caliper. Suspension on the rear, twin RSUs with adjustable preload and 120mm of travel. So guys, before we jump back on, get and hit the road again, as they say, I think an important point to mention about the Speed Twin is actually now a lot of Triumph, the whole Bonneville range has great build quality and finish, etc., but there's just something about this Speed Twin that has always appealed to me through the looks and the build quality. I mean, now I've ridden it really is standing out, and seeing it in person, it's a really nicely designed bike, very minimalistic at the back here, at the rear end, which a lot of people like in their motorbikes, we'll say. Yeah, the overall quality is really good, the paintwork's great, the tank's lovely. My favourite thing is these dual, now I know you get these on the Ts, the T100 and T120, excuse me, but they just look great every time. The dual chrome analog speedos, please more manufacturers do that. It's just a great involving characterful thing of a motorbike, which I really like. Again, the bar end wing mirrors, which are a lovely touch, very much like those. Foot pegs, more sports orientated, shall we say, metal nulled foot pegs, high quality. Also, just quick mention on the seat, so you've got your nice tank up front coming into sort of thin minimalistic bench seat, but really nice stitching, nice Triumph logo on the rear here. Just really like the looks of the Speed Twin and the build quality. Thank you, tractor and your trailer. Perfect timing. So as we jump on, very easy to hop on, no problems there. It's an 809mm seat height, so pretty standard for this segment of motorcycle. It's nice and close to the ground. I'm 5'9", just for references. Yeah, I can easily flat foot it on the ground. So that motor popping away, really nice sound. If we just move on to the weight quickly before we hit some twisties. So it's 216 kilograms wet weight. It's not the lightest of bikes actually. I thought it would be a little bit lighter than that when I saw the spec sheet, but riding it and manoeuvring it around, it's really not a problem. If you're coming from a real light naked sports bike, then you will notice a bit more weight here, but it's a 1200cc engine, you've got high quality finish and alloys, that's where the weight's coming from, I think. And for a road performance bike, it's really not a problem, that weight. You just don't notice it when you're riding on the road. So, what's she like in the twisties? She's got 3 riding modes: rain, road and sport. She's in sport now. Yeah, it's a nice handling bike. Nimble, confidence inspiring in the corners. It's not mega quick to turn in like some naked bikes, but it's nicely planted and handles very nicely. Yeah, it's not a mega sporty handling bike compared to, you know, a more focused ride, but in the Bonneville range it is the most sports focused to fast road riding. Nicely damped, not much need to be adjusting the suspension. It's set up nicely for British B roads. So riding position, immediately when I jumped on the bike, the tank, just where your legs go in, where your legs meet the tank and your knees, is really thin. I don't know whether it's my specific build, but God, these roads are really muddy. Bad choice, my specific build, but yeah, it feels very thin here, which is not a bad thing. You know, you can hug the tank and feel like you've got nice control over the bike, but it makes the bike feel quite slight actually, quite small. So it's still a fairly upright riding position, naked style riding position. You are more canted forward than you would be on a T100 or a T120, more geared towards sports riding, but it's very comfortable. I could do a few miles on this, you know, you could tour on this, not too far, but fairly comfortable. Nice riding position. But just to note that thin where your legs meet the tank, I don't know what it is. It must be my build, maybe possibly I have a backpack on, but it's pushing me quite forwards towards the tank, which is quite a thin area on the seat. It's not ideal for me. I'd like to be further back. I don't know whether it's the angle of the seat tilting forward or whatever, but something there not quite gelling. Definitely not a major problem. Just a really quick one on the details. Really nice touch again. Quick one to mention. Really like the Monza style fuel cap. Nice action. Oh, very satisfying. And then nice to know you got a key so you can lock your the fuel there. But nice old school touch. Great attention to detail, Triumph. Also, one more quick detail. Twin exhausts. Another winner. Double thumbs up for that. Nice one, Triumph. Gotta love these dials. You just can't beat that. In my opinion, anyway. Love them. So onto the switchgear. Fairly basic, very basic. You know, they're sticking with the retro style theme. You don't want too much electrical equipment because then it just really doesn't feel retro. But yeah, you've got your standard info, indicators, horn, and your mode button. Nice simple mode button. I really like this. Rain, road, sport. Done. All you need, no more than that. No individual mode or anything, obviously not an off-road mode, but anything like that. Really simple. You just press it, toggle through your mode, says down here, pull the clutch in, and then your mode's set, like on most Triumphs. Yeah, this is, by a bit of a way, the best performing Bonneville on the road for sure. It's a great balance in general for a sports bike for the road. Lovely mid-range torque, handles well, plenty of power. It's a fast bike, but not ridiculously fast. You can use all that power because of the mid-range torque. Nice sounding engine, great package. Also, it's got that retro vibe, that cool looking vibe, and you can just sort of putter around beautiful little villages like this in the UK and just enjoy its charm that Triumph do so well in their Bonneville range. So, overall thoughts for the Speed Twin. Is it the best performing Triumph? Triumph Bonneville for that matter? Yes, 100% I believe. I think it's definitely the quickest, best handling, most sports focused Triumph Bonneville in the range. It's a brilliant bike. It's a brilliant road bike and sports bike for the road with, obviously, like I was saying, that heritage, great build quality and finish to it. The uprated suspension and brakes in 2021, top quality. You also have Brembo master cylinder, which is really good. Lovely bike. It hasn't set my, very rarely, I thoroughly enjoyed the bike, nothing against it, just personally it hasn't set my heart alight. Personally, I'm not sure why. Strange one. I very much like it, and I wouldn't say no. Someone offered me one at a good price, but it's just personally not one for me at the moment. Didn't pull at my heartstrings, but that's really just personal opinion. Other than that, fantastic bike. I'm very much looking forward. I'd love to compare it to the Kawasaki Z900RS. That is a bike that did pull at my heartstrings, so I'd love to ride them back to back and do the comparison, see how that goes, but perhaps we'll do that in the future. Many thanks to Blade Motorcycles again for lending me yet another of their demonstrators for the day, a prime example of how many bikes they have there down at Blade. So if you're looking for a ride, get down there, test this out. I believe they also have a Z900RS, so apologies if they don't, but you have to give them a call and ask. But yeah, thanks Blade. On the end note, I don't know if it'll come out in the camera, look at the size of that bull, pretty big one. Interesting one to leave you there. The joys of motorcycling, you get to see all of these wonderful things out in the air with the wind around and travelling. Shout out to Mental Health Awareness. Thanks for watching the video, and I shall see you in the next one. Stay happy, keep riding, enjoy the ride, whatever you're riding. Ciao Bella.